Hi, this is Poster Girl. Welcome to Band Wives, a show about the wives, lovers, and significant others and the musicians they love, hate, and tolerate. But mostly, it's about their lives, interests, and passions. This is the stage for those of us off stage, the biggest fans, the ones always there in the background. And today, we get to talk to the lovely Jackie Lail. Jackie is Jamey Harrison's better half. Jamey, of course, is part of Wiregrass, a very well-known band around in this area. So I'm super excited to talk to you today, Jackie. I appreciate it. You've invited me into your lovely home, and we're doing your interview here. And especially, this is the first time we've officially met.
Yeah,
talked a little bit
met at gigs
and seeing each other. Yeah, kind of quick, but this is we get to have a nice long chat today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jackie. Just anything you'd like to say. Of course, we always want to know, how'd you meet Jamey, and how did you come to be?
Oh, the perfect couple.
The perfect couple. That's right, the perfect couple.
Well, I grew up in Forest City. He grew up in Ellenboro. Mm-hmm. And many years later, we met in the streets of Spindale at a goat festival.
At a goat festival. Seems just right and fitting for Spindale.
We didn't actually meet at the festival. Uh-huh. I took a picture of him at the festival, and he asked permission to use the picture.
Oh, isn't that nice of him?
He asked permission, then a few weeks later, we met in person.
Okay.
In front of what used to be Mud Bones. And it was a restaurant next to B Sharp Music.
Okay, in downtown?
It's Spindale.
Spindale, yeah.
And at B Sharp, they had music on the street. So friends of ours were playing music.
Okay.
And I walked up and asked if a seat was available to listen to the music. And that was the very first time we actually met.
Okay. Officially met.
Officially.
Yeah. So when you met him there, did you realize he was the one that you'd taken the picture of?
Well, he told me.
Okay.
He told me. Mm-hmm. And then a few weeks later, I got a message on Facebook asking me out.
Okay.
I turned him down. I had my kids that weekend.
Okay.
So he asked again.
Uh-huh.
And so we went to a honky-tonk in Spartanburg called Hoosiers.
All right.
The funny part was I was friends with the house band.
Okay.
He was friends with the house band. But I thought if he turns out to be weirdo, I can catch a ride home.
You won't be all alone. So, see, that's a smart girl, though.
Exactly.
You know?
And
gotta have your plans, your escape routes.
He took me home.
Yes.
I didn't have to catch a ride home, and that's been 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a great story. I love that. It's like, where did you meet? At a goat farm. You can tell your kids and your grandkids at the goat festival. Yes.
Yep. And that was his first paid gig. Uh-huh. And I was just doing photography because I was friends with people in the town that were setting it up.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
Very cool. Nice. Well, so while you have mentioned your photography, I'll go ahead and jump to that just a little bit, because even looking at around your home, you have some beautiful pictures of things. Do you have a favorite subject matter, or do you just kind of whatever sort of catches your eye?
It's just a hobby. Mm-hmm. So it's whatever's around when I'm doing it.
Okay. Yep. Not anything. You just sort of look for the opportunities.
I've not pushed the portrait as much in the past few years.
Right.
With COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, still photographies are great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have a favorite photo that you've done?
No.
Just, okay.
The ones over here, that was a fun day because we just set them up in the field and we took antique instruments and set them around the field.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And so that was just a fun day of taking photos, but there was no purpose to it.
Yeah. Well, but they're beautiful because you've done them in the black and white, and they're pretty close up because since this is audio, you've got close up shots of guitars and banjos and things. You guys
we probably should mention the whole house is decorated in musical instruments.
Yes, it is. You can tell this is a very artistic home. It is this beautiful home, from the photographs to the records to the instruments and everything. So, well, tell me since we're talking a little bit about Jamey and music and things still, when you see him up there whenever he's playing, so tell me what does that do for you? What do you think whenever he's up there? What's it like to hear him?
Sometimes I have to stare at him, but I have to tell you a story from this past weekend's gig.
Okay, tell me.
So we're at a cidery and we're playing outside, beautiful views and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm reading my book.
Okay.
So somebody that was really into the music was like, "You're reading."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, I know what they look like."
Yeah.
So I'm reading my book. And then a little while later, he's like, "You're reading your book." And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "But you're tapping your foot."
I can read and listen at the same time.
And then I looked at him, I said, "I can pretty much tell you what joke's getting ready to come up." So, yes, I know what they look like, and I can sit in my corner and read my book. And I've always told him, as long as I have a book, I've got something to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was, and it's just familiar enough for you, and you get to kind of sit back and enjoy it.
Well, then
and
shortly
just
after
relax.
that, a friend of mine showed up unexpectedly. Well, I put down my book and I hung out with my friend.
Yeah, that was good. What book are you reading?
I'd have to go look at it.
Yeah,
I don't remember at the moment.
That's okay.
There's always at least one, maybe two or three going.
Yeah. So
yeah,
just pick up whatever's.
Yeah, I'm a reader.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's your favorite part of watching Wiregrass or hearing them play, or do you have a favorite song, or do you?
Well, getting to visit with friends.
Yes.
At the gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite song? I made the mistake of one time telling him "Tia for Texas" is my favorite song.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's always the last one.
It's the last one they play.
So I know when they start playing it, it's time to get my stuff together and start loading up. And, okay, it's time to settle up and everything.
Yeah.
But so he tells that on stage now.
So we're now to the point of Jackie's favorite song.
Yeah. But so, yeah, that's kind of funny up.
That is so. I had never thought about it like that. But yeah, you do. You know exactly which ones, because there's usually they end. I mean, Chris does the same kind of things. Medicine Crow does the same type of things.
You know, if he's doing that song, you're getting ready to take a break.
Yeah.
And so you're listening, but you're interacting with the people.
Yeah. That has been the one of the things I love about being on this side of the fence of that too, is all the people that you get to see. And I have met so many people that I might not have ever been able to meet had it not been for the music scene here in Rutherford County and Cleveland County and things. So that's my favorite part of it. So what's your least favorite part?
There are a few times that I'm just like, I don't want to go tonight. Yeah. So it's rare, but there are times I'm like, nope, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah.
or I'm going to go to the camper and I'll see you later.
Yeah, I can understand that too. You just sort of it's been a long week. I think I'm just going to chill. And
they actually had a gig last weekend and I was just like, no, I just don't want to go. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to stay home.
I'll be here when you get back.
And then I got messages all night of, where are you?
Oh, yeah, everybody's saying, what? Is Jackie okay? Yeah. She's not sick, is she? Is she all right?
It's just like, I just needed a night off.
Okay. So switch the focus just a little bit more just to Jackie and her passions and things. So tell me, when people think of you, what do you want them to think of when they think, oh, Jackie? And her sweet smile and her helping me pick out my beer at Barley's or whatever. So
I don't know, as long as they remember me.
Remember you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some great friends that come in to see me. So,
Yep. Just having that little bit of connection with people so that they remember.
Well, I once applied for a job. And it was a job I'd had before.
Okay.
But I'd left it unexpectedly. So I reapplied for it. And they told me I was too much of a people person for that job.
Really? That's interesting.
It was in computers.
Yeah.
And the person that interviewed, he's like, "You're too much of a people person for this job." I was like, you know what? I'd rather work with people than be stuck at a computer.
Exactly.
So.
And gosh, even working with computers, you still have to talk to people sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you think Jamey would describe you?
I have no idea. I
A
don't.
good cook.
Well,
he did say that.
We do cook
earlier.
well together. Yeah. And most couples can't do that.
No,
so.
A lot of
we do work well in the kitchen together. So
got that little simpatico relationship going on. All right. Well, so we have already talked a little bit about your photography as one of your passions, but tell me a little bit more. I want to get just a little bit deeper into you, Jackie, and like some of your pet projects, or do you have any causes or anything? Sometimes people have things like that are close to their hearts. Or
we have children
and
grandchildren,
and those are your causes.
And then, as you've met, we have lots of critters.
Yes, we do.
So, and then we stay on the go. So we have busy, full lives, and I never know who we're going to see, what we're going to get into from
day to day.
Yeah.
And you have, so I know you guys have the three girls together.
Yes.
You have y'all have 3 girls.
Yes.
And then how many grandchildren do you have again?
3 biological and several that we claim.
Yes.
And we claim a lot.
A lot of them. No, that's good. That's those are the they're just as special as the biological.
They're the family. So we're a blended family.
Yeah. My grandfather always told this story. We have some grandchildren too, but my grandfather always told this story about headlights and taillights. That was his thing. He always loved seeing us come to visit, but he loved to see us go on home.
I told Jamey once, I was like, I love them, but if they don't go away, I can't miss them.
That's right. It is nice to miss them sometimes.
Yes.
It is.
So they've been on vacation, so we've kind of missed them this past week.
You'll be ready to see them when they get back. They'll have lots of stories.
Oh, yes.
So how long have you been doing your photography? Is it something that you've done all your life? Did you pick up? Do you have a camera? You know,
I do.
It's amazing what phones can do these days.
Oh, yes. But
in terms of that,
my photography actually started when I was in middle school.
Okay.
And I was in a gifted program, and there were classes at UNC Asheville.
Yeah.
Summer type week or two. And I took 2 or 3 classes over 3-week period. Well, I did photography and I did architecture.
Wow.
So I borrowed my dad's camera it was a Nikon, and he'd brought it back from Vietnam. And it was the 35 millimeter film.
Okay.
Well, we'd do an architecture and photography. Lots of stuff to take pictures of.
I bet there was.
Well, then digital came out, and I didn't do photography for a long time.
Okay.
I went through a divorce and had to recenter. So I started hiking and just going places.
All right.
Well, a little 5 megapixel camera, and I started taking some pictures.
Okay.
So people started commenting on them.
All right.
So I bought an old, well, it was not old then, but it was a D60, and I've used it for years.
And that's a camera.
That's a Nikon camera.
Okay.
And my daughter still uses it. And it's one that you have the interchangeable lenses and things like that.
Is it a digital? Do you have
it
the
is
little
digital.
thing? Okay.
And that one just takes an SD card.
Okay.
Well, we've upgraded, and I have one that is very nice, and it's very intimidating.
Is it?
It's smarter than I am.
So why is it intimidating? Why do you think it's smarter than what is it?
It does Wi-Fi, and you can edit on the camera.
Okay.
And I'm old school.
Yeah.
I don't edit. I might crop, but I don't do a whole. I might turn it to black and white.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you try to set your shots up with the lighting and all that kind of stuff on the front end, as opposed to working on it on the back end.
And I can take 10 photos, and normally the first one I take
is the best.
Is the best one.
Oh, yeah.
So, but so I've just kind of gotten away from it in the past few years.
Oh, have you?
But my daughter's picked it up.
That's interesting. So I bet that's kind of nice to see her.
Oh, it is.
Wheels turning like her mama's.
And so she borrows my equipment and takes off with it.
Does she do landscape?
She's doing portraits.
Portraits.
Yeah, for friends and families and stuff like that. And
nice.
So she picked up the hobby.
Well, it's good you got to pass along some of your artistic love and things to your kids. So I think it's kind of fun to see those parts of our children come out in us sometimes that you just think, oh, I made that. That's good. I do like that after all.
Yes.
So, Jackie, if you could go back to 18-year-old Jackie and tell her something, what would you tell her?
To wait to fall in love. But you have to go through those mistakes to realize
which one
what you need.
I know. That's the thing about hindsight, and the reason they say it's 2020. But one can argue, well, if you knew then what you know now,
I wouldn't.
Would you even be able to get where you are now?
Yes,
I know.
And so I'm happy where I'm at, and that's the way it should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, I hear that question other times, and I always think too. I know. Yeah, I would go back and tell 18-year-old Lynn something, but
go change this, and then it's
then it's a domino effect, and it changes so many other things.
Yes.
Either you don't have this, that, or the other in your life, and that wouldn't be any fun.
Yes, exactly.
Be any fun at all. So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
That's an interesting question. I once had somebody ask me, if the aliens came down and asked you, would you get on the ship and go with them?
Ah, that's a good question. I like that.
Well, and he had traveled, and so it was and he's like, I said, well, what would you say? He's like, I'd get on in a heartbeat and go see. And I looked at him and said, I've not seen what's here.
I know.
And so I don't think I would, because there's so much I haven't seen here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going up in outer space either.
Exactly. So, I can't imagine going. And then I used to dream of being in the big city and being all successful and
very metropolitan.
And now I'm happy living in the woods.
Well, you do have a beautiful, beautiful place out here. It's very tranquil, and
that's what we need in our lives.
Yeah.
Calm.
Yes, we do, don't we? To be able to disconnect and feel comfortable and in a place to be yourself. Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the person who loves you the most. So even when your kids are around sometimes.
He's been a blessing with them, and he's Papa.
Yeah.
And I'm Giddy.
Giddy. Okay. Oh, that's nice. I like that. So how'd you come up with that name?
He was trying to get me called Grammy.
Yeah.
And I said, he'll call me what he wants to.
Okay.
Well, we were keeping him one day, and he was just in that toddle stage.
Yeah.
And he came over, and I was sitting on the couch, and he grabbed my hand, and he said, Giddy, get up. And I said, what'd you call me? He said, Giddy, get up. And it stuck.
There it is. So, I know. A lot of people do that. So whatever they want to call me.
Yeah. Well, you can't force it.
No,
They're going to call you what
they are. They will. Even whenever you try to name yourself something, they'll end up calling you whatever they want to call you. Yes. So that is the sweetness of the babies there. So do you have any advice? So if you think about any of the younger bands that are out there in the
girls
area,
that want to hook up with them,
or their spouses. You have any advice for the younger band wife, lover, or significant other?
Be tolerant.
Yeah,
it's what they love. It's their hobby,
isn't it?
We're not getting rich. It's a hobby that pays for itself, like my photography.
Yeah.
When I would do portraits, it paid for itself.
Yeah.
We're not getting rich. We're just making enough to get back and forth to do it more.
Yeah. Well, and it is one of those hobbies that, and everybody's passionate about their hobbies in their own little way, but I feel like this is such a piece of them. I'm always amazed at how many the talent that people have as being musicians and things like that, and how much they give of themselves when they just go out to whatever venue for the night.
Jamey started playing. He had always been a singer, but he started playing in a band when he was 47.
Yes.
And so he said, you got to get busy living or you got to get busy dying. And he wanted to get busy.
To live.
And so the day that I took that photo was the day of his first paid gig.
Mm-hmm. So, I think that's like fate. And
we had crossed paths a few times over the years. But we had not met.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand. You hadn't kind of knew of each other, but you hadn't connected.
Well, actually, at that point, no, we just crossed paths.
I get you. Yeah, like you.
Yeah, after we met and we talked, and I was like, "Oh, I remember you from so and so."
Yeah.
But it wasn't the time.
Didn't know. Yeah.
It wasn't the time.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
It really is. It's can make or break.
Yes. So much.
Different things and make just at the right time or make things click the way they should.
Yes.
So I think that's a very, very sweet story. So tell me, I always like to ask this question as we get in. So, and there are no rules.
I know.
I'll let anybody say anything they want to say. But tell me, what's your guilty pleasure?
Getting to run away to the back 40.
There you go. Okay, so tell us what the back 40 is.
The back 40 is a private campground, but it's also an event venue.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's another long story of how we ended up at the back 40.
Okay.
But we ended up there because of Painter's Greenhouse in Old Fort.
Okay, so tell me about that.
They had music.
Okay.
And we found this lady named Mean Mary James on YouTube.
Okay.
So I said, let's look and see if she's playing anywhere. She was playing at a greenhouse in Old Fort.
Okay.
So we went to visit. We were the only ones there to watch her.
Just for her.
Just for her. So we got talking with her mother and her while they were playing, and she took a break. She let Jamey play.
Cool.
So then the greenhouse ended up booking Wiregrass.
Okay.
They then asked us if we would play their end of year party, which was at the back 40.
All right.
So Jamey's playing, and I met the people of the back 40. I come back to Jamey and I said, we're going to be friends with these people. And he said, okay. I said, no, you do not understand. We are going to be friends.
I've connected here with these people.
And so now we have a permanent camper there, and they do music events this coming Saturday. But they're doing a lawnmower race.
I saw that on Facebook that they were doing that.
Yeah, so they're growing. And
and they have various bands there and music there often.
Out of 20 permanent sites,
3
members have their own bands.
There you go. Always
And,
somebody available for music.
And so even when there's not a band playing, there's picking.
Yeah.
So, and actually, Jamey's working on a song called Back 40 Bound.
There you go. All right. That's their theme song.
Yeah.
It'll have to be. So, you guys, even whenever he's not playing music or anything there, y'all just get away and that's your space and where you sort of completely unplug. And
we play a lot in the Morganton, Hendersonville, Cleveland County area.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to get to, and we can stay there on the weekend instead of coming home.
Right. Yeah. For many of those places that you are, you can just jump right over there
and hang out with some friends, and then come home during the week.
Yeah. Get back to your daily lives here, Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
So, I've been out to Back 40 a couple of times and actually I think both times to hear Wiregrass play. So it is a beautiful space out there. So you are a lucky lady.
Thank you.
And I know you spent your time and invested your time to be able to be out there. So it's
nice being able to go somewhere and be off and watch somebody else play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I enjoy that with Chris sometimes to be able to get out. It doesn't, playing, even whenever you play just one time on the weekend, sometimes it's harder to get out the next night, but to be able to enjoy some other music with your man is a fun thing.
And if we're not playing, then we're out listening to somebody that we're friends with.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, Jackie, is there anything else you would like to tell our listeners today about you or Jamey or Wiregrass, or just to look out for some more Wiregrass dates coming up?
Exactly.
If they want to come and meet and get Miss Jackie's autograph while she's out there.
And if you see my nose in a book, don't bother. You can interrupt and
come on. Ask her what book she's reading, because it'll be 1, 2, or 3.
Yes, exactly. But don't hesitate to talk to us.
Yeah, that's what I always say. The bands always love to hear from people and hear what they like.
Well, and I get the stories and I run up and I tell them when they're between songs.
Yes. Play this because so and so likes this.
Yes, and exactly. So.
Can you do that?
Yep.
So. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jackie, I have so enjoyed our time today. This has been awesome. I appreciate you opening your home to me and your heart to me. And
thank you for coming to visit.
Sharing with us. And I'd talk to you again very soon.
We'll see you at a gig.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one. Okay. This is a song that Jamey wrote for Jackie not long after they met. So we'll let you take it away, Jamey. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, thanks. It's called Pale Blue Eyes. I was sitting at a table on the sidewalk in town. Friends are playing some music, people gathered round. She walked up to the table, took me by surprise. I looked up and I saw his pale blue eyes, pale blue eyes, open up the skies. She's got pale blue eyes, kinda makes me high. But I knew just at that moment, had to know this girl. There's not another one like this world. First time that I touched her was on the dance floor, you see. This place was very crowded, but there was only her and me. With arms wrapped around her now, dancing face to face. She took me away to that peaceful place, open up the skies. She's got pale blue eyes, made me realize that I knew just at that moment had to keep this girl. There's not another one that's like her in this world. Over 30 years have passed now, and remembering that first dance, the night that was meant to be, wasn't just by chance. The time now has come for us to say our last goodbyes. One more chance to see those pale blue eyes, pale blue eyes. They open up the skies. She's got pale blue eyes. I don't wanna die, but I knew just at that moment had to leave my girl. Gotta leave her now for that other world. There's not another one that's like her in this world.
Well, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thanks for listening to Bandwise. Look for our next episode. Until then, this is Poster Girl wishing you a beautiful, badass life.